Good morning, students. Just give me a few minutes, like I'll just start it up, set it up. Can you just tell me where did we stop? Bacteria based on shapes. Okay, fine. So, okay, wait a minute. Just tell me if I have completed the role of plasmid. What is the role of plasmid? Did we talk about antibiotic resistance? Okay, fine. Then we'll go for it. Did I draw the diagram of E. coli? I mean, some bacteria and then try to tell you. We did not draw the diagram of a bacteria. Okay. Only based on shapes we saw. Okay, all right. We have studied about gram staining, as in like gram positive bacteria, gram negative. Okay, we have done. Okay, thank you. Okay, one more thing. Did we study about ribosome, Swedberg unit? Okay, got it, got it. Okay, so children, listen to me here. You are able to see something like a bacteria. Okay, coli. I mean, like not a coli. It's like kind of a bacteria which is rod shaped, some bacillus. Okay, so what you are seeing here is you are able to see that this particular bacteria is made up of the white color structure is the plasma membrane. On top of it, the yellow color structure is what we call it as your peptidoglycan layer, which is the cell wall. And then it is also having one more covering. So this is a typical example for a gram-negative bacteria. So what you need to understand is a gram-negative bacteria will have 3 layers. Vis-a-vis, if you're going to talk about gram-positive bacteria, you will only have 2 layers. Okay. On top of it, some extra layer might be present in some bacteria, which we call it as capsule. So capsule might be present in some bacteria, but not all bacteria. Okay. So here we have studied about ribosomes already. So one more thing that you have to know is like, what is flagella? Have you seen about flagella? Flagella's role? Flagella is responsible for locomotion. Okay. Basically, the detailed structure of flagella and all you will study in the chapter cell. Not now, but you will be studying it in the chapter cell. You will study how the how flagella is attached and all those things. You'll study it later. So here, this is a typical example for a prokaryotic cell. Why do we call it as prokaryotic cell? Because this is the chromosome. The chromosome is not covered by what? It is not covered by. I'm waiting for some responses. Nuclear membrane. Yes, Jay Anirudh has said it. People are saying, okay, very good. So it is not covered by nuclear membrane. So we call it as prokaryotic cell. Okay. So we have studied about ribosomes. So let it be this be ribosomes. So what is ribosome? We have seen already. So we have studied that the ribosome in a prokaryotic cell is 70S type. And then this is the what we call it as inclusion body. Okay, someone is asking me what is the difference between chromosome and DNA. Okay, so that is a very, both are one and the same, but the packaging state is different. We'll try to study about that in the chapter cell, not now, but please understand if you want to ask me in a very simple way, let us say that you have a DNA. DNA is like a thread, which is loose. Okay. If you're talking about chromosome, chromosome is like a ball of thread that is packed. Okay. So in this thing, you will have in between, you will have some sort of things which are there, on top of which you will try to spin this ball. So this is what we call it as proteins. The proteins and DNA okay. So proteins and DNA will join together to form the chromosome. So this is like kind of a very loosely packed structure. Whereas if you're talking about chromosome is a highly packed structure. DNA will not have protein. DNA is just a DNA. But when you're talking about packing of chromosome, in a chromosome, you just imagine this example, no? So you'll understand it better. So you see, like you are having a thread. The thread is DNA. But if you want to make it, pack it into a structure, compact structure, what you try to do is you will try to keep some paper ball in between, and then on top of that ball, you'll start to roll that particular DNA. Okay, so like that, what will happen is like you will be seeing that that the center of the thing, I mean, like you are using something to hold, and then like you're trying to wrap the DNA. So that is what is chromosome. If you're going to talk about a chromosome will have, it will look like this. It's a highly packed structure. We'll study how this packaging happens, and also inside that you will have like lots of chromatin fibers. This chromatin fiber will be made up of what? It will be made up of histone proteins. There will be proteins which are called as histones. On top of it, your DNA will be coiling, and then like you will be like seeing that arrangement. Okay. So if you want, you see here this picture. So you are able to see this is the DNA. DNA is like kind of packed. Some protein is there in between. So that protein is called as histone protein. So it is like kind of coiled. When this is coiling further and further and further and further and further, it is becoming like a thread-like structure. This thread-like structure is what we call it as chromatin fibers. So when chromatin fiber is condensing further and further and further, you are getting a structure which is called as chromosome. So basically it is the DNA along with these proteins packed up in a very compact structure that we call it as chromosome. This side, this is what we call it as chromosome. The one where I'm kind of like putting this thing. So you see first level here in this diagram, if you see, you're able to see the first level of organization is just DNA. Then you have proteins along with the thing you're trying to packing it. So even further, it is like kind of closely packed. Then chromatin loops are formed. So from chromatin loops, even further condensation is happening. And then it is finally becoming a chromosome. Okay. Okay, so coming to this particular thing, if you're seeing this prokaryotic structure, if you are seeing this prokaryotic, let me just start. Here, they will just have, we cannot use this word chromosome exactly, but what we call it as chromosome is like we can call it as genome. What is the meaning of genome? The entire genes present in that particular structure or DNA present in that particular content is what we call it as chromosome here. So here it is like not having histone proteins and all. This is not even a chromosomal structure here. Okay, chromosome is like packed structure. What will this bacteria and all will have is it will have a very simple DNA, which is circular DNA. So DNA will be like kind of like in a form of a circle, and that is what we call it as the genome. The genome is the total information present in that organism is called as genome. Okay, so prokaryotes will not have histone proteins. Prokaryotes will just have DNA, nothing else. Bacteria will not have RNA. Okay, viruses have RNA. Bacteria will not have RNA as genetic material. RNA is present for some other function, but the genetic material here is DNA. So please let us try to study about RNA and all in 12th standard, because it's slightly complicated if I'm going to confuse you now with too much details. Okay, gradually you will understand it. So then you have something called as a inclusion body. What is this inclusion body? Please understand that a prokaryotic structure will not, I haven't thought about plasmids yet. So we'll study about plasmids. So please understand that the prokaryotic structure will not have cell organelles. Okay, it will not have mitochondria. It will not have Golgi body. It will not have endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so instead of that, it will not have vacuoles. So instead of that, it is having some bodies which are called as inclusion bodies. These inclusion bodies will perform multiple roles. Different types of inclusion bodies are there, which will be performing different kind of roles. So something will be acting as an energy provider. So which will be like kind of taking the role of mitochondria. Something will be acting as a say defense mechanism. Something will be like kind of storing substances, which will take place the role of vacuole. Something will be like responsible for protein packaging. So like that, it will be like kind of helping. So inclusion body will be like different kinds of structures which are present, which will perform different activities. So since here you don't have specific organelles for specific functions, what is happening here is inclusion bodies are there. If you have any doubts, please don't raise the hand. Please type it in the column so that I'll know it. Children, are you able to understand? So that is what is the role of inclusion body. Okay. So now coming to the structure of plasmids. Plasmids are extra chromosomal DNA. Archaebacteria we have not seen only, we have started only with eubacteria. Archaebacteria is next concept. So what is plasmids? Plasmids are extra chromosomal DNA. My Esther Sharon, if you have any question, please let me know here. Don't raise the hand. Okay, plasmids are extra chromosomal DNA. They give specific okay. So what is this extra chromosomal DNA? So this bacteria is having something called as plasmid. So here I need to teach you something. So let us say that there is a bacteria and this bacteria is having a plasmid. This plasmid will be of like different things. So what will this plasmid will contain? This plasmid will contain DNA, or what we call it as gene. Okay, so it will be double stranded, which means like a normal DNA, it will be having 2 strands and it will be circular, which means circular means this part will be connected with this part. So it will be like kind of a closed loop. Okay, so DNA will be like kind of present as a circular thing. So when this particular thing is there, let us say that this particular plasmid is carrying a resistance gene for penicillin. Okay, so what is the meaning of this thing? This R is standing for resistance. Resistance gene. So what is this going to do? This resistance gene will give resistance for this bacteria to survive in penicillin. Penicillin is an antibiotic. That is what I told you. Plasmids will have a definite shape. It will have a circular shape. Eukaryotes will not have plasmids. Only bacteria will have plasmids. Human cells will not have. Okay, so this penicillin antibiotic resistance is given. So what will happen? Say for example, this bacteria is there. I am going to put penicillin. This bacteria will not die. So why it is not dying? Because it is having this gene of penicillin resistance. Okay, so let us say, I have been telling that eukaryotes itself will not have plasmids. Animals will not have plasmids. Any eukaryotic organism will not have plasmid. Advanced creatures will not have plasmid. Plasmid is present only for bacteria. It is your choice. I am teaching. How do you do it in the class? Will you take down the diagrams or not take down? So you have this particular plasmid. This plasmid is like will help the bacteria not to die. Why it is not allowing the bacteria to die? Because there is something in this gene which is helping the bacteria to survive in penicillin. So let us say that there is a bacteria which is there A, and there is a bacteria B. There is this bacteria is having a plasmid for penicillin resistance. This bacteria is not having that thing. So this is just having the chromosome. This is having chromosome as well as the plasmid. So if this is having penicillin resistance, if I'm going to put penicillin, B will die, whereas A will survive. Okay. So now let me give you one more example. Let us say that there is a bacteria C and there is a bacteria D. This bacteria is not having plasmid. This bacteria is having plasmid, but the plasmid is having tetracycline resistance. What is tetracycline resistance? This is an antibiotic. For this particular antibiotic, it is offering resistance. So now I am going to put penicillin. Which bacteria will die? Which bacteria will die here? Both will die. Why both will die? Because it is having resistance against only which element? It is having resistance only against tetracycline. It is not having resistance against penicillin. This is also not having, this is also not having. So both will die. Okay, are you understanding what is the role of plasmid? Plasmids are extra chromosomal DNA. They give specific characters to the cell. Example for such characters, antibiotic resistance. It can give survival ability in harsh conditions. It is not compulsory that a bacteria will have plasmids, but plasmids are present in some bacteria and they are helpful. Okay, plasmid is not a must criteria, but plasmid, when it is present, it will give you some advantage. Okay, plasmids give advantage to the bacterial cell. What kind of advantage, we don't know. It depends on what plasmid is present. Okay, every bacteria will have plasmid. I mean, like every bacteria in the sense, plasmid is not dependent on gram positive or gram negative. Gram positive can also have plasmids, gram negative can also have plasmids. Okay, understood. I told you already, all bacteria need not have it. Some bacteria will have, some bacteria will not have. Okay, with some or with some not. I mean, like it depends on the particular thing. So please understand, this plasmid is some kind of evolutionary help that the earth is making. I mean, or the universe is making for the bacteria. Okay, so what happens is, like, say for example, I am a person who's kind of taking, I am getting a particular cold or fever I'm getting. Okay, immediately I'm going to a doctor, and the doctor will be like kind of what the doctor is going to prescribe me an antibiotic. I am taking penicillin. Okay, when I'm taking, let us say that he's giving me penicillin. So After some time, you will see like I will be taking penicillin first time. The bacteria dies and I am cured. Okay. Second time, I am getting fever. I am using the same penicillin again. The bacteria is dying. I am cured. Third time also, I am getting the same fever. I did not go to the doctor. I'm just taking the same antibiotic. The bacteria dies, and then like I am also cured. Okay. But fourth time, I am taking penicillin, but the bacteria has got resistance, and I am not cured. Why does this particular case, this particular bacteria has got resistance? Basically, this bacteria will be having that plasmid. Probably this is a strain which has evolved after some time. It could happen at any time. Yeah, right. So basically, if you are overusing antibiotics, that is the problem. Penicillin will show effects on human body. Yes, obviously it will show effects on human body. So say for example, this kind of situation can happen. So whenever you are overtaking some medicine on and on and on, after some time you are getting that resistance towards it. That is a evolutionary mechanism. Okay. So you talk about mosquitoes. First of all and all, like when I was a small kid, we never used to have this mat and all. Okay. We never used to have mosquito coil and all. We will just like use fan. Maximum fan itself will be like kind of so many mosquitoes will not be there. But after some time, what will happen is like after some time, like slowly this particular good night, banish kind of things came up. And then what happened eventually, like after that, you got that liquidator coil and all came into the picture. And then finally today you have extra power also. So you have not normal thing, you have like active mode, normal mode. So which means slowly what is happening is these kind of organisms, like you talk about like mosquitoes are getting resistance. So how are they getting resistance? That is a evolutionary mechanism. So similarly, bacteria can also develop this particular kind of plasmids, and then they can offer resistance. Okay. Is bacteria good or bad? Bacteria can be good as well as bad. Only if it is a bacterial fever, you will get cured with antibiotic. Yes, right. If it is a viral fever, you will not get cured with antibiotic. We are not talking about corona now. Please don't talk about it now. So we are not going to talk about corona. We'll study about corona when we are coming to viruses. We are studying bacteria. Sir, if survival of ability of is more in bacteria, then how can we kill that bacteria if it is not useful for us, like a disease causing bacteria? You have to try some other antibiotic, no other option. So you have many types of antibiotics. Okay. So you something is not being killed by penicillin, it can be killed by ampicillin. If it is not killed by ampicillin, it can be killed by tetracycline. So like that, you will have like different kinds of bacteria causing different kinds of things. Okay, so this is what is plasmid. I hope you understand what is plasmid. Plasmids are extra chromosomal DNA that gives specific characters to the cell. And then example I have given, plasmids give advantage to the bacterial cell. Yes, plasmids are double-stranded DNA like its genome. Yes, exactly. If corona was a bacterial fever, can it be cured by antibiotic? Yes, if it is bacteria means it could have been killed by antibiotics. Bacterial things can be killed with antibiotics. Yes, that is what it is. Bacterial. Yes, there is something called a superbug. Someone is asking me, can a bacteria develop resistance to many or all of the antibiotics? Yes, there was one such bacteria which was found that way, which was called a superbug. Okay, so the superbug was kind of resistant to all the known antibiotics. But later they put off that superbug with some other, by finding one more antibiotic which it was not resistant to. Okay. In such a case where if it is resistant to all the antibiotics, known antibiotics, then bacterial disease will also become dangerous. Okay, antibiotics and WBCs are not connected in any way. Antibiotics is connected with the mechanism of the bacteria. Okay, it is like poison. Okay, someone is asking me what is the difference between antibiotic and vaccine. Can someone tell me? The superbug is pathogenic, obviously. Someone is asking me what is the difference between antibiotics and vaccine. I get a disease. I take medicine. Before the disease comes to me, I need to take a vaccine. Vaccine prevents, medicines cures. Antibiotic is a medicine. Vaccine is something which we take it before the disease even comes. Okay, so that is the basic difference between vaccine and antibiotic. Antibiotic is taken after you get the disease, but vaccine is a medicine which is like you take it before the disease comes into the picture. Vaccine is a precaution, antibiotic is cure. Correct. Okay, so this is what is the case. So now we'll study about the role of pili. It is also called as sex pili. Just a second. Ma, I'm not talking. Just give me some time. I'm having some water. It's become extremely hot these days. Okay, so you have this thing. Like, let me draw this diagram first. You also draw it so that you'll understand it. So I told you that I'll be teaching you conjugation. Okay. And then like I told you about the role of pili. Okay, I'll teach you. So that is what we are seeing here. What you are seeing here is like, let us say that this particular bacteria, the first one which is here, I am calling it as F plus strain. Why I call it as F plus strain? Because it is having a plasmid. Okay, it is having a plasmid, and this plasmid and this is the chromosome. So since this plasmid is present, it is called as F plus. F is standing for factor. So some factor is present there. That is what is the case. But the same factor is not here in this bacteria. So we call it as a F minus strain. So this bacteria is having only the chromosomal DNA, but it is not having the plasmid DNA. So this particular plasmid can multiply basically. So inside the same thing. So and what has happened is it is trying to produce like small plasmids, and these are the copies which are produced. Let us say this is the parent and these are the copies. Okay, so I have like kind of copies are formed, and this particular bacteria has something called as a pili or pili. Okay, sex pili. So what is this thing? This is like kind of a organ or organelle which will help to connect with other bacteria. So what it is trying to do is it is trying to form a bridge-like structure. The sex pili is becoming like a bridge-like structure, and it is forming what we call it as conjugation tube. And what is happening? One of this plasmid is trying to go from this bacteria to this bacteria through this conjugation tube. And ultimately what has happened, one of them has gone here, and then after some time the conjugation tube is detached, and then this is separating and this is separating. Now what has happened, this F minus strain of bacteria has transformed into F plus strain of bacteria. Okay, so ultimately this is not reproduction. Please understand, this is not sexual reproduction. Okay, but what has happened here, transfer of genetic material has happened here. Okay, so what is conjugation? Conjugation is transfer of genetic material from one particular bacteria to another particular bacteria. Let us say that this bacteria is having penicillin resistance. This bacteria is not having penicillin resistance. If this is having penicillin resistance, we call it as F plus strain. This is not having penicillin resistance, so we call it as a F minus strain. What is this pili? This pili is like a organ which will help to which will be helping this particular bacteria to transfer this particular factor from this F plus strain into F minus strain. Okay. So what is this plasmid is capable of? This plasmid is capable of making multiple copies on its own. So what will happen is this bacteria's plasmid factor will multiply. It is multiplying now. It has multiplied, and what has happened is this particular bacteria, F plus bacteria and F minus bacteria are coming together, and this pili is kind of like growing, and it is going to get attached with this thing, and ultimately what is forming is it is forming a channel like structure between these two things. That channel like structure is what we call it as the conjugation tube. This conjugation tube is nothing but pili, which has become like a conjugation tube which is connecting. It is like kind of a bridge. Okay, so it is kind of a bridge through which things can move on. So what is happening is this is a connective tissue. So this particular plasmid, one of the plasmid is moving from here to here. This particular plasmid has produced lots of copies of this thing. These are all duplicates or daughter copies. So one of the copy is moving from this, let us say this is A cell and this is B cell. From the A cell to B cell, it is moving via the conjugation tube. Okay. So, and then what is happening after this has moved, what will happen is it is detaching. which means this cell will go separate, this cell will go separate. That conjugation tube is kind of broken. After that, what is happening? This bacteria is also having that penicillin resistance. This bacteria is also having the penicillin resistance. So which means this was initially F plus. This was initially F minus. But now what has happened? This F minus has been converted into F plus. So that is what is called as conjugation. Are you guys understanding? This is not reproduction at all. Please understand that this is not reproduction. Okay, this is not like one bacteria giving birth to another bacteria. Both the bacteria were present already. But what is not there, this factor was not there. In one bacteria, this factor was not there. One bacteria was having the factor. So it is only the transfer of factor. We cannot call this as reproduction at all. Why we cannot call it as reproduction? It is because no new bacteria is formed. What has happened? A F minus bacteria has converted into F plus bacteria. Okay, so if you want me to write, pili will be there in any bacteria. Okay, please understand, let us say that this particular bacteria is having pili. This is F plus bacteria. Let us say this bacteria is F minus bacteria, but this will also have pili. So once this particular bacteria has got it through the pili, it will transfer. Will that organism which passes the factor will lose the factor, or the factor get reduced in that particular organism, or is it just replication of the particular factor and then it is passed through the pili? Okay, now many of you are having this confusion whether this, once this F plus is transferring gene to F minus, will it become F minus? No, it will not become, because I am telling clearly that this F plus bacteria will make multiple copies of the factor, plasmids. Plasmids can replicate, plasmids can multiply. Okay, what will happen is plasmids will multiply and one of the copies only will go from here to here. Okay, so please understand that this particular F plus bacteria need not convert only one F minus. It can convert like hundreds or thousands of bacteria through conjugation. Okay, please understand that plasmids will be like kind of getting transferred. So a particular bacteria can have more than one factor. So it is not necessary that only one type of plasmid should be there. Let us say that there can be a plasmid A, there can be a plasmid B, and then there can be a plasmid C. And then like it can be having a plasmid D. Like that, it can have multiple bacteria. Please understand that pili will not be present. Pili is present in all the bacteria, whether it is F plus or F minus. Why I am trying to use the word F plus or F minus? To make you understand. Okay, all bacteria will have pili. Adhisri, your doubt is clarified. Sai Nitile, Vel Nandish. Okay, Vel Nandish. Sir, one bacteria may gain all the plasmid from the other. Usually it will not gain all the plasmid, only one is transferred. Okay. Sanjay is asking, did the superbug is very effective because of conjugation of all types of resistant plasmids? Yes, that is correct. So basically, what is a superbug? A superbug is one which is having plasmids for all the known antibiotics, or it is having one plasmid which is having resistance for all the things. Okay, so the superbug is created because of this conjugation method only. After the conjugation, does the pili dies? No, it is not like that. It is retractable. So what will happen is this pili will come back once again. It is like kind of like it is creating a temporary channel, and then like after that it is withdrawn back. Okay, like how sexual reproduction, penis is used the same way. Okay, penis is used to transfer your semen into the female's vagina, and then once it is transferring, it is kind of taking it back. The males take the penis back. So the same way the conjugation pillai will also happen. So it is kind of getting a connection tube, and then finally it is taking it off. The new F plus bacteria will also have pillai. Yeah, every bacteria will have pillai. Okay. Are there any other functions from pillai other than transferring plasmids? No, its only role is to transfer plasmids. That's all, nothing else. It is like pillai is called as a conjugation tube. Okay, it will be helping to transfer genetic material. Will the bacteria be able to pass the particular factor to some other moneyrans? Usually what will happen is bacteria will be able to transfer it only species specific. Okay, so this genetic transfer can happen from staphylococcus to staphylococcus, E. coli to E. coli. It cannot go from E. coli to staph. So usually this conjugation is like kind of like a method where both these things are getting attached. What if it does not have the plasmid? What is the use of pillai there? So basically you have to understand that pillai is like kind of a conjugation tube. Whenever there is a need, it will try to transfer genetic material. Yes, it happens only in compatible cells. So if there is like this is F plus and if it is F minus, only then this will happen. Are you guys understanding? So let me quickly write what is conjugation. It is a process by which genetic material such as plasmids are transferred from one bacteria to another. It happens because of the pili. The pili creates a bridge kind of. So please write this thing down. De Tambi, water cannot be used as a medicine. Water is just one of the factor. Water is used even by plants. It is even used by animals. It is used by bacteria. Everyone is using. Usually, gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria cannot be changed by conjugation because gram-positive bacteria and gram-negative bacteria are all based on the genetic content. It is not based on plasmid content. Okay, are you guys done? Okay, some more questions here. Even in food, bacteria is present. Bacteria is present in every area. I told you clearly that different type of bacteria cannot make conjugation. Only the same species can do it. Okay, so we are almost done. Okay, I'll just teach. F plus cannot get converted into F minus. Okay, please understand that F plus cannot get converted into F minus. Are you guys writing some test in physics, chemistry and all? Okay, so it will be announced. A schedule will be given to you. Wait a minute, I'll just teach you for one more small concept is there. I'll just teach you that thing and then like we can wrap off the class. You studied about classification and all those things, eubacteria. So you please know that there is a, with the thing, the eubacteria, bacteria is over. Now we are going to cyanobacteria. Okay, cyanobacteria is also called as blue-green algae. So this is a different kind of bacteria. They are photosynthetic in nature. Okay, they contain pigments such as chlorophyll, carotenoids, phycobilins. Mostly they are found in aquatic region. Okay, they can fix nitrogen. They have structures called as heterocyst. Example, nostoc, anabina, spirulina, all those things. So please understand, cyanobacteria is very important organisms in the earth. Today also we have cyanobacteria. We call them as blue-green algae. So these are all prokaryotic cells. They all are monerans, but they are slightly different from your normal bacteria. Why they are different? Because please understand, in evolutionary history, cyanobacteria is kind of a precursor for all the plants. Okay. Whereas the normal bacteria is considered to be the precursor for all the animals. So it is not that bacteria learned the animals vandirukku solla mudiyadhu, but it is the first formed thing. When the earth formed, okay, the structures were very simple. Gradually what has happened, evolution happened, and these things advanced further and further and further, and there were advancements and branching out which happened, and ultimately you have got what we call it as plants. So we call it as blue green algae because like after this structure, a gradual evolution led to algae. Okay, so these are all like completely photosynthetic in nature. So these are the precursor for plants that we are seeing today. Okay, so this is like kind of when the earth was formed, cyanobacteria was there, and then gradually it became like maybe like cyanobacteria did not become plants, but cyanobacteria evolved into structures which became plants further. Okay, you can call this as ancestor for all the plants. Okay, so that is what is the relationship between cyanobacteria, algae, plants, and all. They are all photosynthetic in nature. Okay, they are all simple organisms which are photosynthetic in nature. They played a vital role in evolving oxygen when the earth formed. When the earth formed, oxygen was not there, but gradually what happened was oxygen came into the situation because of this cyanobacteria. They contain pigments. What kind of pigments? They contain pigments such as chlorophyll, carotenoids, and phycobilins. They are found mostly in aquatic region. They can fix nitrogen. Okay, and they have structures which we call it as heterocyst. And this example for this thing is nostoc, anabina, and spirulina. We'll still continue this thing. Monera is not yet over. We'll continue, and the next class we'll complete Monera. Coming back to the first thing, slide 1. Then slide 2. Slide 3. Yes, heterocyst is present only in cyanobacteria. Heterocyst is a special structure which will help in nitrogen fixation. This is slide 3. Then you have slide 4. Next is slide 5. Then you have slide 6. Then you have slide 7. Slide 8. Then you have slide 9. No, cyanobacteria is not archaebacteria. It is a eubacteria. Okay. So one more thing that you need to know is you have eubacteria. I mean, like Monera. Monera is divided into 2 types: Eu and Archaea. This Archaea is divided into bacteria and cyanobacteria. So someone wants 7th slide. So this is the 7th slide. Someone wants 1st slide. This is the 1st slide. Thank you, children. The class is over. You may leave. Test sheet will be announced. I said I have just given you a heads up. So please start studying. Someone wants 5th slide. Ninth slide. Heterocyst I will show you in the next class, not now. Class is done.